Hi everyone, this is Moni Singh and welcome to Teaching STEM. Today I want to take you back, I think about 10 or 11 years ago. And this is the time when I was just launching STEM for Kids. So I'm in the middle of doing that. And during that time, my two children at that point in time were 6 and 7 years old. So, going to the primary school. And I was a single parent by then. My husband was stationed outside in a different state, and so juggling through all these, the taking care of the regular schoolwork, the picking up the kids, the dropping off, and then add to that the all the classes, the enrichment programs that they're in, taking them to their swimming classes, their soccer classes, evening, weekends, juggling through all of that, and then everything else that happens, right, with motherhood. So it was an interesting time, and at the same time, I was setting up STEM for Kids. And so anyone who is in this, who has launched a business before, you understand that setting up a business involves a lot of different moving parts, and you're trying to piece it all together. And not only that, I was launching this business, and it was in an aftermath of having lost a job. So it was just too much happening. And during that time, I had the situation where my one of my toilets, the toilet bowl was leaking. So there's like a continuous water, hear that sound that the water is continuously draining, and that's going on. And that's the point. I'm like, okay, enough. I'm already dealing with all these hundreds of things, and here is this 101th thing that needs my attention. Why me? Why can't I get a break? Has it ever happened to you? Do you ever feel like that you're in this situation where sometimes maybe it's the first problem, maybe it's the 10th problem that you're dealing with, the 20th problem, but there's a point where you feel like, okay, that's it. You kind of get that snap that I need a break. Have you ever felt that way? Now, one of the things I want to talk about today is that whether you are yourself dealing with some of these situations, or let's say you've already started your STEM classes, and you are seeing your students struggle with these kinds of issues, right? They run into a problem and almost like ready to quit, give up on that. So how do you deal with those situations? What do you do? Because whether it's you starting a new business and trying to get into these STEM classes, or you trying to begin the STEM classes, or you handling these children, uh, what do you do about these problems, right? So here's what I found very helpful. And the first step of dealing with any problem is acceptance. Acceptance, right? What do I mean by acceptance? So the first element of acceptance is just no, the problems are going to come. That's it. I remember growing up when I was little, and my parents used to always tell me and my sisters that I was growing up in India, by the way, and during that time, there were some of the challenges and being a girl. And growing up, I remember them telling us that, hey, listen, you are a girl, and there will be you will hear from people, your near and dear relatives, friends, that there are certain things that you can do as a girl, and then there are certain things that you cannot do as a girl. And then they'll follow up and say, irrespective of what people tell you, know that whatever you want to do, you can, and will be right behind you, supporting you. And that was a very empowering feeling. I think going in, knowing that there'll be challenges, helped me prepare, and I think my sisters too, in terms of, okay, yeah, we're dealing with a situation, and at least we know, we understand that that this is going to happen. And I think that gives you that first level of mechanism to handle it. So I go to my engineering school, and of course, it's something that most girls don't do. Engineering is not something, at least at that point in time. And I faced that during my first year of engineering school. I remember there was one particular class, and I don't want to name names or anything, where that professor made sure he would tell me, and we were two more girls in that the computer science and electronic class at that point in time, and he'd make sure that every class he reinforced the message, and the point was that, hey, you guys, you girls are not in the right place. Engineering is not meant for girls. And imagine hearing that message in multiple different forms almost every class. And this is the first year, right? So we are really like and we are away from home in a college dorm. So it was all of those experiences, and coupled with the fact that you feel like you're not even welcome in this situation. And we would come out after every class literally crying, tears rolling down. And that that acceptance of, that the problems are going to come, the way my parents had prepared me, that helped me, because I was like, okay, yes, I see this, my parents told me that this was going to happen. And so now it was more about me taking that and saying, okay, let me continue with this. And if nothing else, at least I have to show it to the naysayers that yes, I belong, and I'm going to, continue to thrive in this field that I've chosen to be in. Now, of course, whether or not it's a gender issue that people face, or sometimes there could be issues surrounding your ethnicity, your color, but not necessarily either of any of those. We all, irrespective of how we look, we all have our share of problems. Doesn't matter at all how we look, and just knowing and accepting that the problems are going to be there is the first step in that process.